What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
AFC South Fan. AFC South Fan. Are you ready for the fight? Nighty night, lights out, no Tyson. About to be the clash of the Titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a joke, like to hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a Jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
Quick mic check. Okay, my mic does work. All right, fantastic. Hey, listen, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy New Year, everybody. Listening, watching, all that good stuff. Make sure that you are liking and commenting and sharing before we get started because we got a good one for you, right? I mean, everybody except for maybe Mike has something great to contribute right now. But you know what? Let's just get to it. Welcome back to the AFC South Fan Battle podcast. We're coming to you with everything AFC South related. And yeah, we have some chaos going on right now. But you know what? It's good chaos. It's the type of chaos that makes for good content. But before we go any further, please make sure that you're going to www.fanbattlesports.com where you're able to see everything AFC South Fan Battle related, whether it be articles, videos, past episodes, even biographies. You might see a couple people on here. You know what? You go ahead, you see us, you give us a look. You know what? That's fine. But make sure that you're visiting www.fanbattlesports.com. And yeah, so without further ado, just gonna get into the guys on here. We have with us representing for the Titans. I'm starting off with Mike because he's been going through it recently. But we have with us Michael Newsom, everybody.
It's a new year, new me, though. The team's going to turn it around this last week. So.
I don't think that changed the fact that they're 5-11, but you know what? We're just going to go with it. All right. Then we have representing the Jags. We have with us Mr. Ammo himself.
What's going on?
All right. Representing the Colts, we have Senior, or Josh Senior, as some may call him.
Call me whatever, but can't call me a loser.
Fair enough. And then we have representing the Texans, we have with us Briggsy.
What it do? What's up, fellas?
All right. And I'm your host for tonight, Chris Jackson. But you know what? Enough about me, man. How's everybody's New Year's?
Starting off right. Fighting for that first round, baby.
Okay. All right.
Three of us can say that. Michael can't. I mean, he's in the basement.
I didn't want to rub it in his face because,
No, look, for everything that the Titans, all the Titans fans that were coming in the group, we can rub it all we want, okay?
First off, pause, because that was crazy. That was crazy. That was wild.
Big boss.
Yeah.
My boy said he's going back to the John Watson days.
I'm about to say.
Yo.
All right, enough's enough. All right, yeah, we're not starting off with this. You left that in 2023. Enough's enough. All right. Yeah. We have some people commenting already. They said big Texan stuff around here. Not sure who that was. Don't care. We have Mike Patton saying, "What's good, y'all? Friend of the podcast, friend of the network." He said, "Please, Titans, do us a favor." I'm guessing that is a Colts fan or a Texans fan. I don't know. However you look at it, you're okay. He said, "So glad Bama lost." I'm okay with that too.
I don't want to talk about that.
And he said, "Happy New Year." So you know what? Thanks for that. And before we actually get into it, let's go to a few things. It's just of course there's not a whole lot happening around this time because of course playoffs and everybody's kind of kicking in. But there's been some controversy the last couple of days, and this is actually with some NFC South teams or NFC teams for that matter. First one, the Lions. So I think everybody saw the whole declare, not declaring, exactly how everything happened on Saturday night. That we I think everybody was kind of confused. People saying that they did declare, people saying that he didn't. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think about it, because that was just it was
I mean, I think it was pretty clear that he went up to the ref. Like, there's no other situation where a lineman's going up to a ref in a game situation where he's not telling him that he's eligible.
Well,
Otherwise, they got no business going up to a ref. And there's a video of Jared Goff when Decker walks into the huddle. He tells him to turn around and go back to the ref. Like, they tried, or at least I don't know what happened there. It looked to me like they attempted to make the effort to make him eligible for that play. So,
and the crazy thing is too is it's been reported that these same refs have called some pretty bad games. The Eagles game, the Chiefs and Packers game, and I think the Colts and Browns game.
Mhm.
So there's a pattern here. So I think the NFL dropped the ball on this one because it screwed the Lions and a lot of NFC teams when it comes to playoffs. So, fix it.
Yeah, that same crew has changed the scope of many games. I think they were involved in Packers Chiefs. I think was mentioned, or I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but they were involved in the Packers Chiefs game. They were involved in Dolphins Eagles games Dolphins Eagle game where you see that the Dolphins had 10 penalties to the Eagles 0. And it was clear that something was going on that was making it look a little crazy. But I'm gonna say it's just like what was worse about that? Was it the actual call or the fact that Dan Campbell went for 2 again, kind of on a very similar play in a game where you just need a chip shot field goal to tie it?
I mean, Dan Campbell's the type of coach, all or nothing, right? It doesn't matter what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to win it. So. I mean, the ball's on him, but it happens, Sucks that he lost that way, but that's the way he is. But Mike Vrabel's the same way. So,
that's fair. That's fair.
My only thing is if you're going to call a flag, why wait 30 seconds? Like, why isn't the flag instantly thrown when the play started, There's something to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it almost makes the question where it's just like, would that flag have been thrown if the catch wasn't made? Because it seems like it's just like they were just kind of waiting for the outcome to see what they were going to do next. But I mean, honestly, it's just like it's all speculation. But one thing that there's not speculation about is David Tepper. This guy has been in the headlines for literally all the wrong reasons. And he just seems to keep trying to one up himself every single time. So there's actual live video of David Tepper at the Jags game, and he throws a drink at a Jags fan. Now, I don't know about you, but if I get hit with a cup, I'm gonna flop harder than LeBron.
Oh, 100%.
I'm going my neck, my back.
Because that was late in the game. So at that point, they've established who's in that suite. Like the people that are in that section, they know that that's the Panthers owner up there. They know that's the Panthers general manager. If they get hit with a drink, dude, I am flopping in the worst way possible. My leg is broken.
LeBron James style?
The disc, dude.
I'm deathly allergic to wheat or whatever the base is for that drink that he threw at me.
Oh yeah,
like it's just like
ice. Like I'm allergic to cold.
Yeah, it's just like I have an allergy to water that comes out of plastic cups.
I have PTSD from alcohol being thrown at me, so I'm going to sue for emotional damages too.
Oh. Yes, but honestly, it's once again. So with David Tepper, we see what this is. And mind you, is this because I know it's just like David Tepper came on as the Panthers' new owner, And, he had the Frank Reich debacle. They had debacle with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. They had everything. What do you think the league plans on doing regarding him? Because the thing is, this isn't like just a personal conduct issue. This is an issue with him, like basically assaulting fans.
So I saw somebody tweet something saying that Bud Adams got fined $250,000 for flipping the bird to a Bills fan, like however long ago. And I think they said that should be like the floor for any kind of punishment that they give to Tepper.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, that's the worst thing that's going to happen to him, right? I mean,
it's a step on the wrist because
right.
that's all that ever is with them.
And I know it's totally different because one's the owner and one's just a quarterback's wife. But Brittany Mahomes a couple of years back, she sprayed a whole bottle of champagne on all those people in Kansas City. I know it's two different things, but it's just all I can see is, hey, don't do it again.
Yeah.
The bad thing is Kansas City is a lot colder than it is in Jacksonville. So it's just I can see you slapping the wrist. But how big of a bitch can you be? You're shit talking a Jags fan, and the Jags are winning. And you get mad. And you throw. Come on, bro. That's
close the window if you don't want to hear the Jags fan. Lock up your suite so you can sit there in peace and watch the game. Like, you don't have to have that thing open if you don't want to. Like, you're allowing it to continue.
Yeah. And it's even worse because, I see what you're saying, Matt, with the whole, like, the Brittany Mahomes, that whole, like, champagne thing. But the thing is, as an owner,
you're hold to a higher standard.
Yeah, you're hold to a much higher standard. And not only that, but like I said, you can go with any angle. You can go with any angle you want to make it seem like what he did out of the flare of the moment or flare of emotions was detrimental to you. And mind you, it's just like this is somebody at a different stadium at a different game where it's just like now it's the cards aren't stacked in your favor. And David Tepper, he has a reputation for being bad. So I mean, this could be something that they look into. I mean, I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's like this just isn't a good look for a team that already was in the news all year for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like I said, that's a chick thing to do. Like throw a drink in somebody's face. Like Emma said, if you're gonna be mad, just shut the window, bro.
Yeah.
Like, dude, at the end of the day, that guy's going home to probably a rented house. You're a billionaire, bro. Like at the end of the day, you low key won. Like, why are you doing that, bro? You're being petty. Like, it's not his fault that you blew the whole organization by drafting Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. Like, I'm sorry you have an Oompa Loompa fetish, but that's your fault.
Well, he does. He has short stack fetish. That's what we're gonna call it. But you know what? But enough of that. Enough of the NFL news. Let's get into some of the chaos that was mentioned previously, right? So right now, the AFC South minus the Titans. Sorry, Michael. Is basically, I'm gonna say, deadlocked in a 3-way tie that could end up going one of 3 ways depending on how things go, right? So, and I'll break this down as much as I possibly can. If I'm wrong, please intercede because I do want to make sure I get this correct. Now, the Jags, with a win, secure the division outright. It's theirs no matter what, right?
Correct.
Okay. So then, if the Jags end up losing, I still believe that if the Steelers tie and there's another tie or a tie or a loss, I think they still end up getting in.
Broncos,
yes.
And Steelers have to lose, yes.
Yeah, Broncos and Steelers lose, yes. Yeah. All right. Now, here's where it gets crazy. So Colts and Texans both play. Now, if for some reason, let's just say the Colts win, Jags lose,
Colts win the division.
Colts win division. But if Jags still win, and Colts win against Texans, then Colts get the 7th seed. And that's all because the Bengals also lost this past week, where the Bengals had to lose one of two in order for the Colts to be able to get in. Now, if the Texans beat the Colts and the Jags lose, the Texans win the division, but the Texans can secure the 7th playoff spot by beating the Colts on Sunday.
But I
believe
also think if the Texans lose and the Jags lose, or Texans win and Jags lose, and either Pittsburgh or Denver win, I think Jacksonville's knocked out. Am I correct?
I think so. Also, there's a scenario where Colts and Texans could tie, and if Jags lose, then oh god, I'm blanking here. I think it's
weird, man.
Yeah, it's so basically Colts and Texans is a win and in. You're automatically in the playoffs, but whoever wins, and if the Jags end up losing I believe they're playing on Saturday, correct?
No, Jags are playing on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, okay. So if the Jags play on Sunday and the Jags lose, whoever wins on Saturday night is going to end up winning the division. So there's a lot at play.
Oh, Jags play Saturday with us.
No, it's the Steelers and Ravens, I think, playing Saturday.
Steelers and Ravens. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw something about Saturday, but it's probably Sunday. But you know what? We can go over scenarios all day because this is a very, very puzzling playoff scenario or playoff hunt. So we can go over that all day, every day. But you know what? Before we go into any more playoff stuff, let's just go into this past weekend, because these were the games that set up these scenarios to kind of be where they are. And I'd be remiss if I didn't just go ahead and get it out the way, at least for Michael's sake, because I know with all the playoff scenario talk, it was very tough for him to hear that, given that his team is at 5-11 and currently crying into large jars of mayonnaise. All right, so you know what? Let's just go ahead. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to save y'all for last because y'all were the only two to go against each other. So you know what, Emma? How about you go ahead and you kick us off, because I know other than David Tepper, the Panthers really did just lose their shit. So just talk to us about this game, because 26-0 is crazy.
Well, CJ Beathard came in and got the start for Trevor Lawrence's first missed game since before high school. So he basically did what we needed him to do, not turn the ball over. He didn't do anything special, didn't do anything crazy, just took care of the football. ETN had a redemption game. Our offense has not been able to run the ball for quite a long time, and we were finally able to do that. Granted, a lot of those yards came on one play where I think it was like a 62-yard run where he ran up the sideline, which was really nice to see. Our kicker had a redemption game after he missed 5 of his last 6 kicks. And then Josh Allen breaks the Jaguars franchise record for sacks in a season with 3 sacks and now up to 16.5 on the season, passing Calais Campbell at 14.5.
Ooh.
That man's about to get paid.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're pretty much gonna have to.
Trayvon Walker ended up getting 2 sacks. He's now up to 9 on the season. Half a sack behind Aiden Hutchinson, for those that are keeping track.
Okay. Well, we weren't, but still, thank you for that tidbit of information. Oh, you can't hear you.
Showed up. Are we good? Can you hear me?
Okay, you're going through that delay thing as far as the audio goes. Uh-oh. Well, then I'll go ahead and speak for the Jags. I hope they never wear those mustard color uniforms again, because they're awful. Very much an eyesore. However, Josh Allen will get paid, which I hope he does. I mean, after years of paying all these free agents that don't pan out, it's about time they get somebody who deserves to be paid. especially getting 16.5 sacks in the season. Good on you, Josh Allen. We appreciate that.
There he is.
There we go. Okay, we're good. Go ahead. I was just telling them that the Jags did a pretty good job this weekend.
Yeah, like I said, no Trevor. Obviously makes you worry, but when you're playing the Panthers, it's
Your audio cut out of there again, there, Ammo. Are you? Oh.
All right. Well, here while he gets his
But
audio.
To answer this, I don't think he was. I know he was in protocol, but I think he's out. I don't think that's why he missed the game. I think he missed the game due to his shoulder. I know he got hurt.
It was a shoulder. It was a shoulder issue.
Yeah.
Honestly, even if he passed protocol with the amount of abuse he's taken the last few weeks, it was probably best that he took this game off because it seems like every week they put him out there after he recovers from an injury that looks like it's going to sideline him for some time, and then he comes back and then he gets another injury. On top of the injury, he looks like he's still basically suffering through.
Yeah. He's not in protocol because he cleared that and played last week after the concussion for the comment that was there. Yeah, it was a shoulder injury this week. He got close to being ready to go, but they just said he wasn't there and said it's the Panthers. So if we're gonna rest him to get him ready for an important game, this is the time to do it. So,
oh yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing is gonna be this team, and I'm going to ask you this question, Ammo. It's just like this team in its current state going into the playoffs. I'm going to say it's just like, is there some worry with how everything's going with Trevor now, especially with the fact that you are potentially looking at playoffs? Like you're just going to be basically possibly limping into it as it is.
Well, I think that if you don't win the division, the season is a loss. That I said at the beginning of the year was a bare minimum goal for this team. They won the division last year. Granted, the rest of the division, minus the Titans, are playing better than expected. Titans are playing perfectly on par with where I thought they'd be. So kudos to them for playing their role. So they have to do what they got to do. I think if there's any shot that he has to play, he's got to get out there and do it. It's a division game. The Titans aren't good, but you have to go for it and try to make a run and see what you can do. The football offseason is a long offseason, so if you're banged up and you can't fucking win a Super Bowl, you got enough time to recover before the next year. So you go for it. There's no reason to shut it down for any. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see anything serious enough to kind of go into a defeated mode.
Gotcha. And I don't think it's necessarily defeat. I think it's just more so about the fact that we've seen Trevor just get punished these last 4 weeks. And, it's you're looking at this team and you're looking like, hey, okay, yeah, there's a chance at the division. There's a chance to kind of make a move. But, you kind of get in and you're just looking at things like, is he going to be good for the playoffs? And if he's not, are we basically just going to be getting into the playoffs just for that to potentially be like a one and done with the fact that he may not go into it 100%? And I think that's the biggest, concern or the biggest question mark as of right now maybe not amongst all Jags fans, but just some Jags fans.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out this week if he actually practices.
All right. Speaking of this week, you are playing the Titans. What do you expect for the Titans? And I think I already know, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What do you expect in this game?
A W, regardless of who plays QB.
I like it.
Well, in the words of a great philosopher, hot dog. Okay, So moving on, we had another pivotal AFC South battle. We're not AFC South teams, but just one AFC South team that needed to win against a team that actually had a lot of momentum going for himself. That will be the Colts versus the Raiders. The Raiders had been streaking. The Colts needed this one to stay in the hunt. And Josh, just let us know how everything turned out and exactly what were the keys to success in this game.
Man, the game turned out how we all expected. It's something about the Raiders that they always play us tough, no matter if they 2-10 or at the record it was at before they got eliminated. It's something about that team that was frustrating. Even though we had a hot start, I think we went up 14-3. We still made Aiden McConnell look like Derek Carr, before he got shipped out to New Orleans. The guy was just chunking into Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and the tight end, and both those running backs. Without, Jacoby, Josh, whatever his name is. Shit, I'm having a brain fart. Josh Jacobs, and I was just puzzled the way we, after a fast start, we ended up slowing down. We got conservative. Gardner was overthrowing his targets. The run game was flat, but we shoot back in the fourth quarter to close it out. It was good to see Michael Pittman back after, he suffered that hit against the Steelers. He came back and it was much needed. He was a boost. Shout out to Allen Pierce. I do owe him a slight apology because I've been bashing him all year because he needs to step up. He had one good game this year, which was against the Titans. But it just having that big 58-yard touchdown set the tone. And our defense, they played well. It just that, I don't know what. Jacksonville fans know about Gus Bradley, but this guy is making my nerves. Oh my God, I don't know, man. All this zone is just killing me. Like I can tell you every play, every time that whoever it is. We make rookies look like starters for the next 10
Cover
years.
3
And
every play.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. So it's stressing me out. But Gardner made the plays in the end to capture the victory and put us a step closer this Saturday to face, a good team. I like this. I like seeing teams that were, 3 wins, 2 wins last year and 4 wins last year, had a tie, and then now it's up to them to knock the other one out to get to the playoffs. It's not going to be easy. I don't want to talk shit. Say it's going to be easy cakewalk because we're home. Because CJ's coming, man. He's coming. He's been balling. He suffered some, injury that had him out for a couple games. But I think we'll be prepared. I think our team is hungry, just like they are, and we're going to have to duke it out Saturday.
Okay. And I'm not gonna do what Sam does on here and be the unbiased co-host, and then meanwhile I'm the co-host for your segment. But I do want to ask, because this is something that's kind of, I'm gonna say, that's on my mind regarding this. The Colts have clearly, I'm gonna say, overachieved. This was a team that, Adam Rank said was going to get 3 wins. Many people had going like 4 wins. And to be at 9-7 right now is extremely impressive. But to be where this team is right now, and then looking at some of the competition that you see in the playoffs, do you feel like even if this team does go ahead and get into the playoffs, that this could be a team that could potentially go ahead and get out of the wild card round?
I'm not sure, man, because we see the highs and lows to the team. We can win a game we're not supposed to win, and then turn around shit the bed to a team that we're supposed to win. And it's been our thing. We'll win 4 in a row, then lose to a Bengals team. I'm not saying they was terrible with their quarterback. He shouldn't be winning these games. I don't know what is going on, but we just keep losing. Then lose to Heineke. It's just these things like that. Like these are winnable games to where we wouldn't even be in this situation had we won those games. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't even be in a Saturday game with the Texans. But to answer your question, for us facing the team right now, I think they got us playing Miami. I don't want to play Miami right now because they got their ass whooped by the Ravens, but I think they still got enough to make us look bad, especially on defense.
Well, I will say only because it was breaking news today. Both Bradley Chubb and Xavier Howard from the Dolphins tore ACLs, and they're out for the rest of the season. So those are major blows because after Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, that secondary core is not really that great. But once
Right.
again, this is something where you're looking at certain teams. Now, also, the scenario could be that, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if the
Mhm.
Colts end up winning the division, but then they end up playing the Jags, what does that look like after losing to them twice this year?
Well, we had a semi-close one in Indy before they pulled away with they won won by 10. I think we can beat them if that's the case. If that's going to be the scenario, I think we can beat them. I don't think we're going to get they're going to beat us 3 times in a row. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. It's had happened in the league, but I think we'd be more prepared because the second time around they beat our ass in Jacksonville, but this time we have a home game, so I think we'll play a lot better.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, as you know, extremely pivotal AFC South matchup versus the Texans. It's been flexed to prime time Saturday night. I mean, there's no bigger lights than what it is, and it's at home. What are you foreseeing as far as the outcome of this game?
I mean, it's going to be the same as every other Texan game we had for the last 5 years. It's always been close. We beat them pretty bad week 2, but that's not the same team week 2. This is a whole different team. They have been beating some teams pretty bad. Like the Steelers, they beat smash mouth them. I don't want to discount what they have over there. They have a decent defense. I'm not sure. I think Nelson is hurt. I think Matt, is Nelson hurt or?
He's banged up, but he's still playing.
Okay.
The one that right now questionable is Jonathan Gennard, really.
Gennard, and I think it's what's his name? Jimmy Ward is out, right?
Yeah,
Jimmy Ward is out for the season. I think they picked up Kareem Jackson to replace him. Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be it's not gonna be an easy game. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a dogfight. Both teams wanna get into the playoffs or potentially win the division. So it's gonna be a fight. Both head coaches been there before. They coached against each other previously the last couple of years, so they know the schemes. It's gonna be a fight. It's not gonna be easy. I can see the game going like a 17-20 type game. Like I don't even see no over 20 points.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So now that we're here, I know it's tough listening to all these winning teams, Mike. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ask you, what were your thoughts on the game?
Well, they say it's not whether you win or lose; it's how you play the game. So
whoever said that is terrible. Whoever said that is terrible. They obviously never saw this Titans team.
Well, that being said, we didn't play the game very well. So
fair.
The only good spots on the game, Henry went over 1,000, Hopkins went over 1,000, so they both got their benchmarks. But
it took them 16 games though.
Good point. But with that benchmark as well, we set a new NFL record in the game. So we are the first NFL team to ever have 2 defenders get 10+ sacks, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 1,000-yard receiver, and finish last in the division. So
nice.
We're setting a new bar.
Oh, man. Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry. It's like it's the best worst achievement ever.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Henry had a 16-yard rush in the game, which is 6 yards more than he had the entire game against the Texans the first time. So that's improvement.
Not much.
Yeah, not much. Levis left the game with a foot injury, which was not the same ankle. It's actually on the other leg. So now both feet, he's got leg injuries on both legs at this point. And
and I'm sorry, Mike, there's some irony in that, but you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, well, Tannehill came in. He went 16 of 20, so he had 4 incompletions. He was sacked 5 times. So that tells you how bad the offensive line is, that he had more sacks than incompletions in the game.
I don't even know how that happened.
So Will Anderson is coming off of an ankle injury. Only played 12 snaps. Out of that 12 snaps, it was 2 sacks, 3 QB hits, 5 hurries, and a tackle for loss. So, yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got so ugly that I had to take my glasses off so I couldn't see the screen at one point.
so so listen, I know that y'all season is done, right? But you know, I know that there's been some optimism amongst Titans fans where they're like, hey, you know, we're gonna retool in the off season. Now, the way that things look right now, and I need you to be as realistic as possible. Is this a team that can be fixed in an off season?
In this off season, I'm not sure. I think it can be fixed in an off season, but the problem is air trouble. We've got a 1,000-yard rusher. We've got a quarterback. We've got a wide receiver. The problem is that we need 4 new offensive linemen. And 2 of those are tackles, and there's no starting tackles that are coming available in free agency. So, yeah, we're in a position to get a tackle in the draft maybe, but that leaves us 3 offensive linemen short. Our center is 30 pounds lighter than the average center in the NFL. Like, that's a problem when your center's getting pushed back on every play.
Oh,
so there are centers in
I
free
know.
agency. So maybe we can find a center in free agency, but we still need 2 tackles, maybe a right guard. So
I'll give you our center. He's the 33rd ranked center, and he's started the whole year, so he's not even starter quality.
That might be a lateral movement. So.
so then one last question. Is Traylon Burks a bust? Yes or no?
Absolutely. I mean, who's arguing that point?
That's fair.
He has 1 touchdown in his career. So, I mean,
2 seasons.
He's supposed to replace A.J. Brown. He has 1 career touchdown. So, and if I'm not mistaken, that career touchdown was a Henry fumble that he recovered in the end zone. So, I mean, how's he not a bust?
Yeah, because I was speaking to some Titans fans, and they said they were like, "Hey, you know, he's gonna have a better career than Drake London," or you know, they were just like, "Hey, he's going to be somebody." It's like we were just being told that Traylon Burks was going to go off this year, and and apparently the only place he went off to was Krispy Kreme. But you know what? That we're not going to get into that.
I do have a question.
What?
For Mike, what's this rumor floating around about about Mike Vrabel, his contract being expired and probably going to mutual parting ways? Is that true or is it fake news? Because I've seen it.
I don't think his contract's expiring. I think he's under contract because the big rumor was we was going to trade him to the Patriots, and so he'd have to be under contract to be traded. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, the owner's committed to him. And honestly, right now, I wouldn't fire him at this point because he's had multiple great seasons for us where we overachieved. Then JR basically gutted the roster and left us with $12 million in cap space this year. And we had to restructure all 5 offensive line positions with $12 million. Yeah. So to me, we have the most cap space going into the offseason. You keep Vrabel, but you put him on the hot seat. You expect results in 2024 from him.
Yep. Okay. And so with that being said, just once again, moving on. So you're playing against the Jags. Now, once again, I know that you guys are just kind of losing out. I think at this point, you guys have a top 10 pick. I think you're probably at like 7 or 8 right now.
Yep.
Now, are you playing to beat the Jags and get a division win this year, or are you just playing for the pick?
So I think that tomorrow's or this week's injury reports will tell the story on that, because Mike Vrabel said after the game, Will Levis's foot injury wasn't severe. Like, he could have came back in the game if needed to. So if they choose to use that as an excuse to shut him down, then we're just trying to tank to move from number 7 to number 5 to guarantee one of those tackles. But if we play Will Levis, then we're trying to play spoiler against the Jaguars.
All
I
right.
hope
So
you play Levis.
So Josh Allen can get 3 more sacks.
You goddamn right.
yo.
I'm
So then
hoping for
what do you-
3.5 so we can hit 20.
So then, Mike, what's the outcome of the game and what's the score at the end?
The outcome of the game, I'm going to say Jaguars win 31-17.
Oh nah. You got to give us something spicy. Come on. You want to beat the Jags. You know Henry has owned the Jags on many occasions.
You're just saying that because you want an easier path to the playoffs.
Oh no, I'm saying it for content purposes.
I'm saying
However,
because I want an easy path. to the
However,
playoffs. I mean,
easier path to the playoffs comes secondary. So content and then easier path to the playoffs in that order.
I ain't too proud to beg. I mean, I'm down for easier path to the playoffs. So
So I'm
Come
the
on,
unbiased. Okay,
Titans.
I have to be unbiased in this right here. Okay, and I think I've done a pretty good job thus far. However, I mean, hell yeah, I want the Titans to beat y'all. Like that's fine. It's just it is what it is.
I can't root for the Titans. I gotta go. Let's go Jags. I can't.
No, I'm not
fuck the
rooting.
Titans.
I'm not rooting for the Titans. I just hope the Jags lose. There's a big difference between the two.
Well, because even being 1-5, the Titans still gonna talk a lot of shit and fuck them.
Yeah, it's like it's like I'm not anti potato chip. I'm just pro French fry. Like it's just like that's just what it is. Like that's just. I mean, ain't worried about that.
Well, Mike is a good guy. Mike good guy, so I don't have no issue with him. He's good.
For content purposes, we can get a charity bet going for Henry's final game in a Titans uniform. So,
Ooh, okay.
What would that be, sir?
I mean, last time for the Colts, we did $20 for the charity. So,
you talking ammo?
What's the bet?
Ooh.
You saying Derrick Henry? What are we? You just saying just his name as a representative for the Titans, or are you betting on something for Derrick Henry?
I'll say 125 for Derrick Henry rushing yards to finish his career as a Titan.
Oh, you saying this is his last game?
Bro, that talk about going big.
Where you at, Ammo? Where you at, Ammo? I see your face, but I don't. Oh, you say you're taking it?
I'll take that bet.
Let's go. Confirmed on the AFC South Fan Battle.
It should be $50.
One other note from the game, just mentioning Henry reminded me of it. He needed 1 touchdown in the game to become the 5th rusher in NFL history to get 9,000 yards and 100 rushing touchdowns before turning 30. And he turns 30 before Sunday. So the Texans holding him out of the end zone stopped him from getting that achievement.
Damn.
Look at the
So that
Texans
means
doing
that
the Lord's work.
So he's out for revenge this
He
game, is
doesn't
what you're
get it.
saying.
What'd you say, Emma?
So it's gonna suck when he doesn't get it again.
Damn.
Well, I just need the yards. I don't need the touchdowns.
Hey, so Matt, you got that bet booked?
I got a book, $20. Head on YouTube back.
Let's go. Hey, I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, hey, Mike, don't get too sad because now I have to talk to Matt about how the Texans dominated y'all. So, Matt,
I mean, you don't.
how did y'all dominate the Titans?
I mean, do you watch the game? All we gotta do was show up and we dominate. I mean, that's not even. I mean, no. We played well on every aspect. Kick returns, punt returns, offense, defense. They all was positive. CJ Stroud came back and looking like CJ Stroud. The only thing different, the play calling was a lot smarter. They did take big shots in downfield, but when they weren't there, they had a lot of checkdowns at the running back and the tight end, and that's what he needs so that way he doesn't get hit and doesn't get hurt. Because let's be honest, if CJ Stroud was playing 2 weeks ago, it's not 19-16. It's probably 37-13 or something like that. It's a blowout at Tennessee. CJ Stroud is obviously the game changer. As long as Will Anderson, I mean, the rookies just showed out, showed up. Just it was a fantastic thing to see the Titans getting swept. So yeah, um, like I said, Will Anderson just killed it. So time to move on to the Colts.
Yeah, and I know that you're, well, not limping, because I know that injuries has been a big thing. I know injuries was a thing from the very beginning of the season. So now with the team, I'm going to say being I'm going to say semi healthy, right? With the way that this team is right now, because once again, I know like Tank Dell was a big loss. Steven Nelson is getting healthier, but Jimmy Ward was somebody who was, producing very well for you guys. Do you feel like there's too many moving parts for continued success, or are you just that 100% like CJ Stroud got this, he'll be able to do it? Because we're going to start moving into teams that maybe aren't necessarily structured like the Titans.
Well, see, that's the thing. I've been a big Nick Casario doubter this coming into the season, but during the season, he's hit the nail on the coffin. Derek Barnett, who had 2 sacks, Tier Tart, who was big in the run game. I can't think Adrian Amos. I think his first name is Adrian. He's a big
Amos,
he's a big rotated player for the safeties because Petrie got benched last week. Of course, Jimmy Ward went out, and then you go get Kareem Jackson to bring in some veteran presence. There's a lot of injuries, but we're doing a lot of we're moving with those injuries, and so now if the main part, if CJ Stroud can stay healthy, I mean, and it's proved that this team can beat some good teams. We got to stay healthy and we got to play smart football.
Yeah, and like I think it's what you're seeing right now is that you're going Desmond King back. And I think one thing that we're seeing right now is, you potentially have, the two. So you have like the 2 rookie head coaches that were projected to be under 500, going head to head. And so, there's been debate about it's just like who was the better one, who did the better job. And so I'm going to ask you a controversial question. I'm going to ask a controversial question to everybody here, right? Out of Shane Steichen and D'Amico Ryans, if the race comes down to the 2 of them, who do you believe gets Coach of the Year?
Whoever wins on Sunday. Whoever makes the playoffs. That's what it's going to come down to. But the thing is, too, I'm saying, look, if Shane Steichen doesn't go to the Colts don't have the success that the Colts have. Mm-hmm. If they bring in Rich Gannon, or not Rich Gannon, but Jonathan Gannon, they don't have a chance.
5-12.
They bring in Sean Payton. They're 7-9. You know what I mean? So they got the right guy in Shane Steichen. The only reason why I give it to D'Amico and Shane Steichen is because that roster is still a pretty good roster from 2 years ago. You still guys have like Michael Pittman, Nelson. You still have a lot of key good roster players. The Texans had Davis Mills as a starting quarterback. The Texans have last 3 years have won 10 games max. We're about to, if we win Sunday, we got 10 games. So there's a big difference, when it comes to the roster. So I would, either guy wins it, I'm happy with it, but I have to give it to D'Amico. Also, y'all lost Anthony Richardson, but we never had a healthy offensive line from the get-go. We lost our most explosive weapon on offense in Tank Dell, and we continue to produce. So I have to. It might be. Look, I might be, like this company says, so biased by. I might be biased, but I mean, I make some good points as well. So, you're usually pretty unbiased. What do you think? Who you got?
I'm gonna go to y'all and then I'll go last. But Mike, who do you got? Who do you think? I'll go to Mike and then we're gonna go to Ammo and then we're gonna go to Josh Senior.
Nico, I think I expected more out of the Colts than I did the Texans to begin the year. And I thought that Stroud was probably going to be a 2 or 3 year project. And I mean, he's came in and lit the league on fire. So that's where I'd go. But I can't disagree. The winner of Saturday's game probably gets it.
Okay. What about you, Ammo?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Whoever wins the game is probably who ends up getting it. Now, if we don't take that game into fact and you ask me right now, if you ask me who I think, I would give it to D'Amico. But if you ask me who I think the NFL would pick, I think they would pick Shane Steichen just because when you look at the quarterbacks, Minshew is not CJ Stroud, and I think that's where they'll give the edge to Shane Steichen when it comes to the voting process for Coach of the Year. But I personally would give it to D'Amico over Shane Steichen, and that's with me thinking that Steichen did a really good job this year. So,
yeah. Okay. Then what about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm with them. Man. D'Amico has done an excellent job. Like everybody said for us, not having an offensive line, losing a receiver, losing, matter of fact, their best, the best Pierce is Alec Pierce now because the other one is trash.
I'll give you that.
But,
yeah, you're
right. I had to get that out, man. I had to. But I mean, he's doing an excellent job, man. They won a game with Case Keenum. I'm not saying he's pretty bad. He won games, in the playoffs against the Saints. So he got some experience. They persevered all year. They won games that they probably shouldn't have, and that's where they at right now. But I mean, we got arguments for Shane Steichen too, not having his quarterback, not having his running back, offensive line shuffles, receiver got hurt, cornerbacks hurt, safety hurt. I mean, traded or cut. Darius Leonard, Shaq Leonard, what do you want to call him? Stewart been suspended 6 games. You had the cornerback gambling. I mean, it's a lot of things we deal with all year long, and we in a position to make the playoffs and win the division. So, I mean, both got arguments. So, I mean, I can make arguments for both of them, but it's going to come down to who wins that game to make that decision.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to preface this by saying I also do believe that it will boil down to who ends up winning this game. And it's all for the simple fact that these 2 rookie head coaches had to deal with, I'm going to say, a lot of insurmountable odds in very different ways. I mean, you had D'Amico Ryans taking on a team where, like I said, there wasn't, before the season, there wasn't really any recognizable names on that offense like that. And I mean, you're talking about the fact that CJ Stroud has taken Nico Collins, he took Tank Dell, and he has Nico Collins. I think he has more yards this year than he did in his past 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
then got yards, so yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you're doing everything that you're doing with CJ Stroud, which I do believe that having CJ Stroud does make it look a lot better. But the Texans team as a whole, to me, they have some good players in certain spots, but the roster isn't all that great. And then meanwhile, you're 9-7 and you're staring down not just a playoff spot, but you're also staring down a potential winning the division for the first time since 2018?
Yeah.
And, on the other side, you have Shane Steichen, who, you're 9-7 with Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew has more wins in this season than he has in his entire career. And I think even that in and of itself is a testament to Steichen with his preparation, with everything. I do believe that Steichen had the better roster, but it was just a little bit tougher because you went your first, 4 or 5 games without Jonathan Taylor. And you basically had Zach Moss. Zach Moss at one point was number 2 in rushing, and he was up there for, I think, a couple weeks until he had to kind of share that workload. So I do believe that either one of them has a case in different ways to be able to go and just take home Coach of the Year. If I'm being honest, it's probably going to end up possibly going to Stefanski or somebody like that because, Stefanski has them
4 different quarterbacks. And
4 different quarterbacks, or the Lions, where the Lions for the first time ever, I think, well, not the first time ever, but I think the first time in 30 years, them being able to, I think, host. Well, no, they're not going to be able to host a playoff. What I
Win
think
the
so.
division.
Yeah, win division. Yeah, they're going to be able to win division and host a playoff game. And I mean, like I said, I think this year's head coaches, like coach of the year, I'm not mad at any of them, but specifically for the AFC South, if either D'Amico Ryans or Shane Steichen wins coach of the year, I'd be completely okay with that.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking of John Albright too, because I mean he got the Ravens playing like a Super Bowl contender for real.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar's might just end up getting the MVP if it doesn't go to Christian McCaffrey, but it'll probably go to Lamar Jackson because quarterbacks. But I mean, he's still been balling out. Yeah, he's still been balling out. But going back, Matt, because I didn't get your outlook for this game, this pivotal AFC South matchup. What are the keys to success for this team or for your team, and what do you think the outcome will be?
The key to success is C.J. Stroud and Bobby Slowick. That's the key to success. Look, Gus Bradley and D'Amico Ryans looks like they run the same defensive scheme. A lot of cover 3 zone. So it's going to be a shootout. So it's all about the offense. The thing is when we played y'all week 2, we didn't have an identity. The offensive line wasn't gelling. C.J. Stroud, the coaching staff didn't have trust in C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
that's all gone. The offense has an identity. The offensive line is gelling, and now you got the defense working in the same mold. So it's a different team, and you can say the same thing about the Colts.
Yeah,
it's a different team. So it's going to come down to the offense. But the good thing about D'Amico, he doesn't focus on one game. He moves on to the next. He's already over the Titans. He's moving on to the Colts. So it's going to be a good game. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I hope the Texans pull it out. So I'm going to say the Texans. I might sound a little biased, but I think the Texans pull it out just because we have the better quarterback out of the two.
All right. And then what do you foresee the score being in this game?
Oh, it's going to be like 37-31.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game for the
Bet
Texans.
the over.
Yeah. I'll take that 20. The Child won't score 37.
You don't think we'll score 37? Have we not lost this a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, I won bet this year.
Look, I'm not betting you because every time I bet, I lose. And this is not the time.
Nope. Don't back down. Don't back down, Matt. Don't back down, Matt.
I'm pulling the Ray Cherry. I do not bet against my team.
Double or nothing, baby.
No, sir. Nope. Not happening.
Come on,
All right,
man.
but no, sorry. That's a no from me, dog. And the wise words of Randy Jackson, that's a no from me, dog. All right.
That's fair. That's fair. It's, you know what? You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. That's fine.
I'm folding like it's on a fit.
He said, I'm folding. I'm out. I'm taking my money. I'm going home.
Absolutely not. Because
Yeah,
you can see it right now. Like, if we lose, all the Texans fans like, oh, it's that guy from the AFC South in the Texans fan battle. He's the reason why we lost. Well, I ain't gonna be that guy. All right.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna be the next murderer.
If y'all win, they'll be like, oh, that's the guy that we can attribute our success to.
Nah.
Come on, take the bait, Matt. Take the bait.
No means no. All right. Don't make me get my whistle out. No means no. All right?
Oh no. Not the massage whistle. All right. Well, listen, we've had another great show. All right. And with that being said, everybody, where can the people find you? We will actually go ahead and start off. Emma, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me at MoJags on Twitter, and you can find me here talking about the Jaguars winning the division next week.
All right. I listen, I like the confidence. I appreciate that. All right. Then Josh, tell us where the people can find you on social media.
You can find me on here on some Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays. You can find me on the Horseshoe Mob on Tuesdays. I hope we have one Friday, Matt. We have an episode, but we'll talk about that later. But you find me on Twitter at Who Is Josh Senior, and in the Twitter chat too, giving RJ hell.
Briggs, where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me A1 Day One Texans everywhere. Of course, you can find me on Texans Fan Battle on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central, where we'll be talking about either the Colts or the Texans being your AFC South divisional winners, because the Titans are going to win, baby. Let's go. I'm just kidding, man. Don't get me, bud.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
I know the Titans ain't going.
He ain't kidding. He ain't kidding at all. And then, Mike, where can the people find you on social media?
Find me on Twitter at TitansWOrder, on Thursday nights at 8 Eastern on Titans Fan Battle podcast, and here next week talking about how we ruined the Jack season. So.
Let's go. Let's go. By the way, Mike, I just want to let you know, I've always read that as Titans Worder, and I was going to ask you what a Titans Worder is, but you know what? Titans W Order makes a lot more sense. So, yeah, you know what? Order. Fantastic. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
2020.
I do want to add before, I will be wearing my Lank shirt this Saturday.
Let a naysayer know. Yeah, let it go. That's enough. All right. Listen, we're starting off the new year right, okay? Listen, make sure that you are following us on social media. You can follow me at CJ Colts Fan. You can check me and Josh Senior out tomorrow on Horseshoe Mob Podcast. Other than that, people, once again, Happy New Year. May everybody receive blessings, all the great things that you asked for, except Titans fans, because they only deserve mayonnaise. And outside of that, hey, listen, if everybody's listening, I just want to kick this year off right. I want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do, and just let it be known that no matter what in 2024, always remember that Sam loves Jalen Ramsey.
Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.